So let's segue into that coaching, because that is another topic
Right.
that I have seen
Me too.
being talked about super often in the last few weeks. And it's concerned me a little bit. Let me just say why. Let me just go get into my thoughts. So some of the comments I'm seeing are, so some posts have popped up where some people have felt they didn't benefit from some coaching programs, or they were left unsatisfied with some coaching programs they've chosen and whatnot, those sort of things. But then there's been, some of these posts are getting hundreds, or over 100 comments.
Yeah, seen
Comments.
'em.
And then I'm seeing blanket statements directed towards coaching in general as a whole. And some of these comments are, well, coaching's like a scam. No one needs coaching. Coaching's a big ripoff. Just these blanket statements about all coaching. And that concerned me, because I feel differently. When we can compare this to training, like either fundamental training or advanced procedural training. Just in the procedural training arena with permanent makeup, right? Training is needed. Do you want to advance your skills in eyeliner, brows, or whatever the procedure may be? You want to
Yeah.
advance your knowledge in skin or design, brow design. You have to take training. And I think it behooves all of us, even someone that's been doing it as long as me, to keep taking trainings and new trainings, right? So that's how we advance. So it's very important. But in the training, in that arena of training is predatory training, bad training, scams, people left unsatisfied. And then there's amazing trainers and amazing trainers. And I think that's the same for coaching. I do think the word coach has been overused and maybe lost its street cred because of all these comments and all this talk about coaching lately. But I feel that, okay, maybe in the arena of coaching, there are some programs that are not so great. Maybe there's some predatory coaching. Maybe there's certainly people being left unsatisfied. We're seeing them speak out. But I also feel that coaching is really important, and it can absolutely, really profoundly help an artist and really impact an artist and their journey and their success if they're doing their due diligence, researching, and choosing the right coach or mentor, however you want to word it. To me, those words are kind of interchangeable. I think it could be super beneficial. So you, Rose Perito Perez, you are a coach. You have been a coach. You and I have spoken a little bit privately about this, and you've seen some of this talk going on lately. And I'm wondering, I'm not really a coach, like an official coach. I'm stepping into the arena. I'm figuring out my format, and I'm going to be stepping into that arena. I've been a mentor my whole career, offering and providing free education, free mentorship. You have been doing that as well, and you are also a professional paid coach. So,
And there's no difference. And there's like you just said, "Oh, I'm just stepping in." That is BS. You have been my mentoring coach for 13 years, like since I've known you.
Well,
That's
I've never offered paid coaching. Like, I've never charged anybody to learn from me, unless it's like an eyeliner class or a brow class. I've always just given it for free. Wanted to, still love to. We have episodes on this podcast that are nothing but education.
Right.
So I will say, going into coaching and finding that balance of still giving free mentorship and education, and then paid, has been a little weird, a little uncomfortable for me. I'm still, I'm going to have to figure out that balance. I've never been a paid coach or mentor. You have, because you've mentored for free your whole career too, but you are also a professional coach that has been getting paid for coaching for the last few years. So as a coach, I'm just wondering, like, some of this negative stuff and these blanket statements, like, how has it affected you as a coach? What are your thoughts on that? And well, first let's answer that, and then maybe you can give some advice on what to look for to find the coach that's right for you. So
it reminded me of what 2016 or 2017 microblading came on the scene. Everyone was like, oh, what is this microblading? It sort of blew up. And then all these opportunistic trainers came in from out of the country and charging the students that didn't know any better, like $10,000. And then at the end of the day, these artists just wanted to better their careers, but they didn't know what they didn't know, right? So they invested all this money and time in coaching with these, or training with these horrible microblading trainers that I don't even know if they exist to this day. And now they're trainers like Mary Richardson now have courses, like transitional courses, right, from microblading to machine. We saw this whole evolution of, oh my gosh, I spent $1 million, I received horrible training, help me because I didn't know what I didn't know. I think that is happening now with coaching, is that now everyone is like calling themselves a coach, even business owners out there that are permanent makeup beauty owners that don't have a lot of experience under their belt. And that's fine, because we all have value to bring. And if the value that I bring to the table is worthy of you paying me to coach you how to do that, then, more power to me, right? But if you're listening to this right now, Tatter-a-fact, for the most part, you're a permanent makeup artist or wish to be a permanent makeup artist, right? You are getting coached right now. This is a mentoring platform. People log in to this platform to learn and to gain education and empowerment. This is a form of coaching, and they come to seasoned artists and professionals and business owners like you because they trust you, because you've made all those mistakes down the road, right? You said it earlier, gosh, I had to work a part-time job for the first few years of my career because you have to sort of juggle that before you find your way. And I could do this on my own now in PMU. So you have to find someone that has done it, made all the mistakes, and then have them sort of hold your hand through the process. So to answer your question, I haven't had any issues because with the clients that I attract, because I don't attract those kinds of clients. I have been a mentor in this space for many years, so I attract permanent makeup artists that know that that I could help them in some way. Right. And so it hasn't affected me, but it's sort of I'm disheartened by it because
does it piss you off, like, to see like these blanket statements, or like maybe or like hurt you? Yeah,
it's upsetting because it's important, because this is why we're all artists. But just because you're an artist, it's another part of being a business owner is a whole separate part of the brain. There are so many variables in running a business, right? So one of the questions, for example, that I asked like some of my new if you're in my new coaching student right now, we were having an initial conversation. What's your consumable cost per procedure? That's a simple question. They don't even know what I'm asking.
No, most people probably don't even know that, right?
Well, but what my point is, they don't even know the simplest question. And so you have to, something so simple as these are the cost of my supplies versus the cost of my service, and then whatever's left over, right? That kind of thing. So there's a lot of variables involved, and I give them grace, because just because you're an amazing artist doesn't mean that you're an amazing business owner, because that has to be learned and can absolutely be learned, right? Yeah. And so.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm excited to step into the coaching mentorship. I'm trying to find another word besides coaching. It's like mentorship, mentor. It's like, okay, that's a little boring. Coach is kind of like a cool name, but it's almost lost its value, I feel, which is kind of sad because I like the word coach. But mentorship, it's like, okay, it's yawn, it's a little boring. So I'm trying to find this other name that would I kind of like describe what I'm going to be doing and offering. So I'm looking for a new word, I guess. I don't know.
A thought leader, maybe. I don't know. It's like we get so caught up in words, don't we? But
I don't know. But I've definitely made a lot of mistakes. I don't, hide those mistakes. I'm not ashamed of those mistakes. I ran a really super successful studio for 12 years with lots of artists and apprenticeships. So I'm really excited to talk about that 12-year period, what I did right, what I did wrong, what I learned, what I would do different, and really, really help the artists that wants to open up a studio and have artists under them and apprentices and have that type of business model, because I learned it, and I learned it very, very well, but I certainly made a lot of mistakes along the way. I had to make some adjustments and whatnot. So yeah.
Let me ask you, let me say one thing to interrupt you. Do you know why I charge a fee when I coach my one-on-one clients? First of all, I've been a mentor, as I mentioned, for a decade before I was ever a paid coach, right? But when someone pays you for something, it's sort of, I have the right to hold them accountable now, right? So I see that they take action when they pay me. That's number one. And number two, my time is valuable too. As much as I'm passionate to educate you and to teach you everything I know and to give you my time is also valuable. So, I'm not going to charge you $20,000 an hour, right? But, we come up with a fee that's fair, and it's their choice to say, gosh, green light or not. So at the end of the day, what you said, the artist needs to do their due diligence and pick the coach that works best for, or mentor, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think lots of artists out there could use a good coach or mentor, and to avoid the pitfalls of business,
whatever you want to call it.
or client management. There's lots of areas of PMU, client management. There's lots and lots of different areas.
We never stop learning. I have a coach now. And I'm in a mastermind. Next Friday, I'm going with my husband to Marcus. There's this big Aspire convention conference, empowerment conference here in Miami. I'm dragging my husband to. We never stop learning. It's regardless of how many years we're in business, whether you're in 5 years in business or
I've done coaching myself. I've been coached, I've hired coaches in different arenas. And my experience has been, a couple of them was I went re-sign up. I never sign up for these big, huge, massive programs. It's I want to sign up and do a couple sessions. Right. And make sure I vibe with the person, they have something valuable to offer me, and they're authentic. And when I'm looking for a coach and something, I don't want anybody super polished and a cheerleader. I don't really vibe with that, and I think I remember telling somebody, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, someone, you need to step into coaching, you need to be a coach. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that, man. I'm just not very polished. And
gonna be you.
And they were like, well, that's why you should get into coaching. Right. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, when I'm coaching with someone, when I'm a student, if my coach, my first session or two, they're super polished and rah-rah and cheerleader type. Do you know what I'm talking about? That type of personality.
Yeah.
I am so turned off. That's not me. It's not me. I don't resonate with that. So I think my style of coaching's a little bit different. It's authentic to me. It's me. Right.
I'm on my own now, but I used to work for a coaching, get paid as a contractor from someone. And I remember having this student client she was in Canada, and she was, new artist, and, didn't know what her consumable cost was, that kind of thing. And I remember 6 or 8 weeks into coaching, I looked at her on Zoom and I was like, I'm going to get fired. They're going to, she's going to call and complain after. I mean, she was literally in tears, but I'm like, you're not, you know what you are? You're a girl that owns a business. Are you a businesswoman or a girl that owns a business? Right now, you're acting like a little girl that owns a business, because there's a difference. You can be a girl that owns a business, but do you want to be a businesswoman? Then do what I say and take action right now.
Well, I would imagine in coaching, when you are a coach, I would imagine just like in a training, if I'm training eyebrows, and I've got, I'm in a classroom with a bunch of students who paid a bunch of money to be in that classroom with me. Not just paid me, but they paid airfare, hotel, they left their business. Sometimes you have to give tough love, sometimes you have to give tough love. You give it from love, and I always try to give it gracefully and from a place of kindness, but sometimes you have to give tough love so they hear you, because sometimes not everybody hears you at first. Because I think we all learn differently. I think, some people, the way they absorb or learn, different levels of learning and absorbing and things like that. So some people you just have to give a little bit of tough love because you want so badly for them to hear you and to get it, right?